Hi guys, in this video we're going to do a quick overview of PowerPoint. I'm going to show you where all the major stuff is in this program so you can get started with your presentation. Okay, it's really not a difficult program to learn. It's actually quite fun to learn once you get into it, but I know initially people, when they don't know the structure of a program, they're kind of reticent to jump right in. So this video should give an overview, and then you can maybe move on to more advanced topics. So let's just do a run through. Over the top over here in Microsoft programs, you got these ribbons going, right? These are the home ribbon, the insert ribbon, design, animation, slideshow, review, and view. Okay, you may have slightly different ribbons up there, but everyone has the home, insert, design, animation, slideshow, and those are the 5 major ones in PowerPoint. Let's start with the home, and let's look at the general structure of the layout of a PowerPoint when you just start. Okay, so here down the left side you have your slides. Okay, so this slide right here is a miniature thumbnail, if you will, of this slide that I'm working on over here. So if I title this new presentation, okay, you can see it's also typing it over here. Okay, so the way you add a new slide is under the home ribbon, new slide. You can just click over here, or you can click down here and actually simultaneously insert a new slide with a certain theme. Okay, I like to start with blank, or if I know exactly what I want, maybe I just want one with the title at the top. So it'll insert it in. You see slide 1, slide 2 over here, right? So I go to slide 2 and I'm over here. So let's just call this, for argument's sake, slide 2 of my presentation, right? And you can see I could flip through slide 1 and slide 2, right? Now I could add another slide. Let's add a blank one. You see, since I was on the first slide and I added a new slide, it slipped the slide in between these 2 slides. Okay, I can also delete a slide. Delete a slide from the left side. Just click on the slide and hit delete, not backspace, delete. Okay, so now I'm down to 2 slides, right? I'm just going to add a third one. I'm going to click on the second one and add a blank one, so it'll add it after the second one. So I have 3 slides here. And let's say I want to add a picture onto this one, okay, which will transition us into the next ribbon here. Before I move from the home ribbon to the insert ribbon, okay, I want to just maybe touch on these other options you have here on the home ribbon. Basically the stuff you're used to seeing in Microsoft Word, Excel, if you're used to that. Okay, it's the fonts, it's the alignment of text, it's adding shapes. Over here we can add shapes. That's always fun, right? And all the options of all those things are over here. Okay, so this is stuff you should be used to. This is the quintessential, what we covered in this section of the home ribbon is the quintessential PowerPoint section of this ribbon, the home ribbon. Okay, so let's go over to the insert ribbon now. This has a lot of useful stuff. Sometimes, let's say we'll go to slide 3, click over here on the left. Sometimes you want to add a table, right? You want to have some data. You can choose the dimensions of your table, and you see it's previewing it over here on the slide. And you can add a table, and you can begin to type inside, right? Column 1, and so forth, right? You can also actually insert a live Excel spreadsheet, okay, using the same under table. And the way you do that is just select that Excel spreadsheet. It takes a second, but what it's doing is it's embedding an Excel spreadsheet. You see this, if you've used Excel before, you'll be quite familiar with this. So I have a live spreadsheet basically, and look, I have a formula bar here and everything. I could do work in here as if I was opened in Excel. And then when I'm done with this, I can just click anywhere else on the slide, and this will turn into a rather more aesthetically pleasing looking table for my presentation. Okay, and then maybe you want to do some stuff to this, and once you select this, you could go over here to format, and by clicking there, you could choose different formats for your table, right? And you could also maybe adjust the size of the font by going over to the home ribbon and highlighting things, right? So this is all things you can do. I don't want to go into the details of this, but you should know that you can embed an Excel spreadsheet into a PowerPoint presentation like this. Okay? Now, let's add another slide. We go to Home, New Slide. Let's add a blank one. Let's go back to the Insert ribbon and continue. We can add a picture. Click on Picture, and PowerPoint will allow us to search our computer, and we can just find some pictures and throw them onto our presentation. Okay? So how about a picture of the great astronomer? Okay, so this was a picture from my file. I just found it, use from Insert Picture, and I added it. Okay, and you could resize it once it's in here, make it bigger, smaller, move it around. Okay, you may even be able to drag it onto a different slide, move a slide around, and so forth. Okay, that's how you add a picture. That's a key one because everyone needs pictures. Here is clip art, which I'm not going to go into, right? And shapes, all bunch of stuff, charts. Text box is important. Text box, let's say I want to write here, slide 4, right? I need to first insert a text box because it's not like a document where I could just type anywhere. First, I have to always insert text box. Draw the text box, start typing. Then click on when I want to edit anything, resize it, move it around. I could even spin it around and do all kinds of fun stuff with it. I encourage you to play around with things like this, okay? Now that you know where it is, okay? So that's a text box. That's very important. Next, we can add header, footer, word art. This is all stuff that you might or might not be familiar with Word. Less often used, so I'm not going to go into that stuff. I'm just trying to hit the highlights here. Third thing I'd like to cover is adding a movie. Here, you can add a movie from a file. So, just like we added a picture, you could find your movie, right? And you can, for example, I can add one of my tutorial videos that I've done recently. This might take a second, so I want it to be played. PowerPoint will ask me, how do you want the movie to start in the slideshow? So I can say played automatically when the slide starts, or I can say when I click on the video. Okay? I might want control when I'm doing the presentation, so I'll click when clicked. Okay? Now, I probably need to resize this because it looks like it's much bigger than my slide. Okay? So, I can just, what I did was I zoomed it out using down here, if you see where I'm at. Okay? And I zoomed out, I resized, and then I'll just zoom back into the size I want to work in. Okay? So this video, when I do my presentation, will play when I click on it. Okay? So this is a video file here I've inserted into into PowerPoint. Okay? This is a picture, this is text, this is video. Fourth thing you might want to add is music. So under Insert, Sound. Okay? You can add sound from a file, a music, an MP3 file, or I know clip art has some options with sound, but here you would just say sound from file. Find your music. It'll ask you again, like the movie, do you want me to play this automatically when the slide comes up on the presentation, or do you want me to play it when it's clicked? Again, maybe I want to choose when clicked because I want to have more control. It gives me this little symbol here, and maybe I'll drag that on the corner, if when I click that during the presentation, it'll actually play that MP3 file that I chose. Okay, so on this slide 4, we got a lot of stuff. We got picture, movie, and sound. All right, all stuff that's really important and will come up in your presentations. So that's the insert ribbon for you. We added a table, we added pictures, we added movies, we added music, and we also, if you remember earlier in slide 1, we actually added shapes. So we've also done that too, and that's pretty easy and fun. Okay, so I encourage you to play with that stuff. Let's go to home, add a new slide, and you see we're on our 5th slide already here. We can move slides around by grabbing them and pulling them around. Alright, so that's useful. We can also delete them. Remember, we did that. And let's go over to the 3rd ribbon, design ribbon. Here is where you're gonna, with one click, make your presentation look very professional. And it gives you a bunch of preset themes. And if you hover over these themes, you can get a little preview of what your presentation is going to look like if you choose these themes. And these really will make your slideshow look very professional. And you can play around with these, have fun with them. There's a bunch to choose from. I'm just going to choose one. And just to give you an idea of what it does, basically it gives a nice theme to everything I've done. Okay? And it looks very unified throughout the presentation, and it gives it a nice touch. Okay? You have further control here. You can mess with the colors if you have, if you want to fine-tune this. I can even keep the same theme, but maybe change my colors. I can change fonts here, theme-wise. So I do it once here, and it does it to the entire presentation. That's real powerful and time-saving. I can add effects here. You should just play with this stuff. It's quite fun. It's not that difficult, and if you don't like it, you can just change it. Okay? So that's the design ribbon. So I encourage you to play with that as well. Next, let's go to the animations ribbon. Moving right along. Here, you're going to be able to do custom animations on objects in your slides, okay, as well as font. So if you have seen nice PowerPoint presentations, have font flying in or maybe appearing out of nowhere, disappearing, flying in and out. Okay, this is where it's done. You could highlight the objects that you're interested in animating. You click on custom animation, and then over here you can add effects, entrance effects, right? Emphasis effects, exit effects, and motion paths. I encourage you to play with these. They're all fun and easy to use. I'll just show you one, a fly-in. So you see it gave me a little preview. Okay, so I added a fly-in effect on this text over here. Alright, if I add let's make it box, it'll preview that. Okay, so play with this stuff. Okay, and you can animate each thing on a slide separately, and you can control the order. That's a whole different tutorial altogether. I just want to present this to you so you know what's out there, what tools you have. Okay, so that's the purpose. The purpose of this video is just a high-level presentation. Okay, now back to the animations ribbon. In the center portion here, we have transitions. Now transitions are how one slide goes to the next slide. Okay, so transitions go between slides. So if you select slide 2, you can select the transition like this one, dissolve. And so this is how slide 2 will show up. You can also use white transitions. You can play around with all of these, and I encourage you to do so. And you can choose different transitions for each slide, and this will make your presentation look a lot cooler. So play with these things. Okay, so again, transitions is how one slide transitions to the next. Okay, and you can fine-tune these things with these options over here on the right. Okay, and that's pretty much the animations ribbon in PowerPoint. Now, the last ribbon I want to talk about, last important ribbon in PowerPoint, is the slideshow ribbon. And this one basically is where, when you're ready to view your presentation, whether the final presentation when you're in front of your class or in front of your conference, or whether you're just doing it on your own to see how it looks, to preview it, this is where you'll come. So here you can select from beginning, and you can see your presentation from the beginning. Now, for purposes of this capture, I can't use this option because it opens it in a new window. But here, the screen will go full screen, and you'll see your presentation without any of these things on the side that we have over here, just the slides. Okay. Here you can choose to view the presentation from the current slide, and here you have some other options. One thing I'd like to mention, which is quite important, is sometimes people like to set their presentation to play automatically. Okay, and here is where the options are for that. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to take you through your presentation and give you control, like kind of like a stopwatch, where you can say next slide, and PowerPoint will record how many seconds each piece is played, and you can determine that on your own, and this way it'll record it, and when you play it, it'll play it automatically right on all the way through. You don't even have to be there. Okay? Sometimes people need this. Sometimes they don't want this. They want full control with the mouse at the time of the presentation. Okay? So I think I went through about 80% of PowerPoint. The remaining 20% are the nitty-gritty stuff that will take many more videos to cover, but I can go into a lot more detail on all the stuff that I did today in subsequent videos. So I hope you got a good understanding of how to use the program. You can jump in, play around, get your hands dirty, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I do a lot of tutorial videos on Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access. I'm going to do more on PowerPoint, and I also do math tutorials. If you subscribe, you get the most recent videos directly without having to search around and watch different people's interpretations and tutorials. So if you like my style, make sure to subscribe, and we'll go into more detail with all these subjects. Thanks a lot for watching my video. Make sure to comment and practice, practice, practice. Have a great day.